What do you get when you mix a Jagualian Battle Mage with a Mercurian Gladiator? Let's find out!
DorkLair!
So as of the recording of this video, we are deep into the All-Stars 5 voting, and as of today, actually, the Four Horsemen just recently announced the next sort of stage where we're not going to just have one round of voting. And secretly, what we were voting on was just a preliminary round, and those groups are essentially tournament brackets where we are going to have a 2-round tournament, and we are going to crown a champion. And the smaller group included these two guys, the group that's going to have only 2 victors come out of it. And I do think that these are the underdogs. I highly doubt either of these two will win. I make that determination based more on the communities that I'm a part of, the Mythic Legions Cabal Facebook group and, Instagram and social media and stuff like that. So, my sampling might not be the be-all and the end-all of the voting, but to me, they're underdogs. So if they win, I will be surprised if either of these two win. If you want to see my overall breakdown of the All-Stars preliminary round, without my knowing that it was a preliminary round, you can check out my video right here. Anyway, let's talk about the plan here. I'm keeping it pretty simple. I'm going to, I think, keep the purple armor and bring in the pretty rare dark-skinned flesh parts from Calavius and kind of make a new sort of gladiator-looking warrior type character. Pretty straightforward. I don't think I'm going to pull in any parts from any other figures. I'm just going to straight up swap some parts here and we'll see how it goes. And for those of you who don't have these figures, I'll just do a quick little overview of each one. So here's B'alam. He's a Convocation of Basilia magic user, sort of Lord of the Animal Kingdom type character with that Jagualian head. And this head is actually part of the other vote, which is the heads pack vote. So there will be an opportunity perhaps to get this head in a different color. But this figure's awesome. And one of the cool things about really both of these characters is that they come with swap out parts. So you can take B'alam's head off and you can swap it out and basically make a generic knight in a purple suit of armor that looks pretty sick. But yeah, so that's your B'alam with his helmet on. It is a pretty awesome looking figure. And yeah, so really good for the knight collectors. It's one of my favorite ones. It's got like a metallic purple armor. And he's a magic user. He also comes with this staff right here. And likewise with Calavius, he does have an alternate head as well in the sort of other version of the knight's helmet. This is one of my favorite helmets right here. So super versatile pair of figures right here. I would be totally fine if either of these win. I just think beating Romulus is going to be a hell of a task. And the Silverhorn Sentry is one of the most popular. People really want that one. So we'll see. I did not vote for either of these guys. I voted for Romulus, but I would gladly buy more of these if they do win. And just a quick look at what we got. So we do have some purple matching, but I don't know if I'm going to end up using any of the gold parts. They definitely have some complementary colors going on with these two figures. All right, well, let's get to it. I got the Conair out. Let's start breaking these down, and we'll get all the parts out and see what we can come up with. As always, if you watch my Kitbash videos, I always start it off by taking off anything that can be removed without heat. Usually it's the arms up here, the torso down here, and then if I do end up swapping the knees, which I think I'm going to do, so I am going to pop apart the knees on this one too. So yeah, those things all generally, like, you can force them apart, but I like to heat them up because I just don't want to wear out my figures with too much force and torque on the joints and stuff. So yeah, so he's about where he needs to be now in order to start pulling him apart. And let's get Calavius ready as well. So we'll pop the head off. We'll get that shoulder armor off. Get this out of his hands. Get him so that we can just heat him up and start popping him apart. So I think I want to take the flesh parts, probably the legs. I may end up using this skirt piece with it, but we'll see. We maybe try them both. And then I'm going to swap out the arms, the lower legs, this skirt here, and I'm going to probably end up using this helmet as well. We will see what this comes out as. I'm going to add more heat to the knees because these usually are one of the tougher parts to get off. And if you're ever doing this point, the knees, with a 2.0 figure, you pretty much have to boil them. Like, I can't get the 2.0 figures apart from the knees unless I boil the figures completely. And when I say boil, I don't really mean boil. I mean get the water almost to boiling and then pull it off the heat. But then when you put the legs in the water, leave them in there for a few minutes, not just a couple seconds. And let's get B'alam apart. All right, I got my big old pile of parts, and let's get to it. Let's start figuring out what we're going to use here. Let me just organize these, and then we'll take a look. Okay, we've got B'alam on the left, Calavius on the right. I think my base starting point is going to be with Calavius's body, his flesh parts, and I'm probably going to pull these gauntlets off of him here. This is my starting point right here. This is my base body, essentially. Okay, so what we need now is parts to kind of like round out the figure. So we're going to take the legs here from B'alam, the lower legs. We're going to need the left arm. We're going to need the gauntlet from this one over here. And then I haven't decided on the loincloth yet, so I'm going to keep both of those here. I may also try out both skirts. We'll see. Again, sticking with the armor from B'alam, we'll go with his pauldrons, and we're going to go with his helmet and his plume. Collar piece won't work on that body. And yeah, so I think those are all the pieces. We can get these pieces out of here. This one we can take out. We can take all that out. And there we have it. This is going to be right here, the figure that we're going to try to put together. And there's a couple options still that I'm going to play around with and try out. And maybe I'll show you both ways and you guys can pick. Let's start by heating some things up and getting our limbs together here. So let's heat up these legs. And just a quick reminder, there is a left and a right leg. You can check it underneath the knee, or you can just eyeball it. The larger fins here go on the outside. All right, let's first go with the all B'alam armor look, which is the B'alam skirt and loincloth. And let's get that torso on there. And then I think, so because he's a shirtless guy, what I want to do is I want to use a strap to give it the look like the shoulder armor is strapped on there. So we get that strap on, and we'll just put one pauldron on for now. I like to have my gladiators with that one armored arm have the pauldron. And yeah, at this point it's just the head. We'll put that on there. Put his plume on and get a look at this figure. And then I do really like that blue bladed sword. It's like the magical sword, so let's give him that. And there he is. I think that looks good. It's probably going to be my preferred look, but I did want to try this one other look. So let's take a look at this. And this isn't too bad. We've got those purples matching in there, but I definitely prefer the other look, I think. This is like the more cobbled together gladiator look, I would say. Okay, we've got him back into this main look, my preferred look. And now let's see how he stands next to a few other Mythic Legions figures. First up on the left, we have Romulus, his rival in the Group 1 voting. And on the right, we have a kitbash between Owen and Toriyon with that black body on the armored parts. A very similar look and style to the Calavius B'alam kitbash. And then we have a couple skeletons. On the left is my baseball Tibius custom from EM Custom Parts, and on the right is a kitbash between the Fury Clan Orc and Hagnon, two figures that are actually battling each other right now in the Group 2 voting. And that'll wrap up today's video. Again, happy All-Stars 5 voting. If you want to check out my overview of that entire wave and my thoughts on each of those figures, check out this video here, and until next time, may the Force be with you.